Officials say the man who died when a Tesla Cybertruck packed with explosives burst into flames outside a Trump Las Vegas hotel was a highly decorated US Army Green Beret who deployed twice to Afghanistan. BBC journalist Lee Jamali is in Las Vegas and joins us now. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. What's the latest there?
Yes, well, the latest that we know about yesterday's explosion is the name of the person that authorities believe was inside of the Cybertruck when it detonated, and that is 37-year-old Matthew Livelsberger, a resident of Colorado Springs, Colorado. As you mentioned, he was a highly decorated military service member, an active service member in the Army, a Green Beret, which is an elite branch of the Army. Authorities are stopping short of making that a definitive identification, and that is because the body inside of that vehicle was burned beyond recognition, from what authorities say. But Livelsberger's identification was found inside, a military ID as well as a passport, and a number of firearms. Authorities say that he shot himself in the head before the explosives were detonated.
And if it is in fact Matthew Livelsberger, he was on leave from deployment at this time, wasn't he?
That's absolutely right. He was stationed in Germany, from what law enforcement officials say, but he was on leave in Colorado. We know that the Cybertruck that was involved in yesterday's explosion was driven from Colorado to where I am here in Las Vegas. And there have been a number of attempts to draw, comparisons to what happened on the same day, on New Year's Day in New Orleans. But at this point, authorities are saying there's no definitive link between them. They are, however, acknowledging the similarities. Both of the people involved were members of the U.S. military, born in the United States. Both were stationed at various times at Fort Bragg, and both are believed to have served in Afghanistan. There may have been some overlap there. They may have both been in Afghanistan in 2009, but we don't know if they ever crossed paths. The other thing that I think law enforcement officials are looking at is the fact that both used a car service, a rental service called Turo. This is a pretty small startup, I would say, not a household name. And so authorities are looking at that as well. But to be clear, these are being treated as separate incidents, separate investigations. While in New Orleans, that incident has been called a terrorist attack. We do not have a motive here at this time.
Yeah, and authorities are certainly saying that there is a lot of coincidence, but they're not ruling anything in or out yet, are they? They're just saying they're looking into it all quite closely. You've been there. What's the sentiment on the ground there in Las Vegas?
Well, it's pretty tense. And at the same time, I'm seeing people driving down the street in front of the hotel, with music blaring. So there's a real mix of emotions and a mix of sentiment, I would say. In front of the Trump Hotel, there is still a heavy law enforcement presence more than 24 hours after this explosion. Right at the entrance there, you'll see caution tape. You'll see staffers doing cleanup work to try to fix the facade. But, there really wasn't all that much damage done, which is quite striking given the magnitude of this explosion.